And they're off. Intro stage in this game is a little unique compared to the previous ones in that it's like half cutscenes, so there's not a whole lot going on for the first 30 or so seconds.
And you get to play Zero. Zero's pretty cool guy. In my opinion. Not too much difficulty in this stage. Pretty basic Mega Man X movement. The only real part that will trip you up is the boss. Like, likes to have. He punches you in the face with his ball and chain hand.
I don't think this fight's meant to be difficult, but you can still pretty much just one-shot him with the saber.
Yeah, you gotta hit him with something else. I'm wondering what that wall tap was for from Luis.
It is RNG manipulation. It's for no punches.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, nicely done by both of them. It's like no one got screwed over too hard by Mao. And they didn't even get Zero into the one-tile pit. Nice.
Oh, one frame save.
Just want to pop in real quick. We did get a $5 donation from B. Magellan. Thank you very much for that. No comments on there, but if you did want to get your donation in towards an incentive, you can feel free to let us know in the chat, and we'll get that towards whatever you want to get it towards.
What incentives are coming up, by the way?
The next major incentive, it's a that hasn't been met, is the bid war towards Mega Man X7 New Game versus New Game Plus.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, New Game Plus is currently in the lead, $72.61 to New Game's $2. But if you wanted to change that, there's still plenty of time. If you donate $5 or more up through the Trauma Center run, you are in the running to run to receive Fury as a prize. So make sure you get those donations in.
Nice, and neither runner getting the dreaded Z-SNES screen going through that door. I think it's just if you go too far left, coming out of the capsule room, you trigger the weird overlay on from the weather effects. Madu having a little bit of difficulty with the Buffalo Infinite. No ice beams though, so he's pretty much in good shape still.
having a hard time. The stream sync, I'm buffering like 90% of the time because my internet's deciding to be garbage.
Oh geez. Gotta pack up and go to your aunt's house.
Yeah, probably. Alright,
Toxic Seahorse's stage is a little annoying. It's got some climbing sections, which are usually the most difficult parts of Mega Man X runs. But it's a good stage to do second, just because you actually have the boss's weakness, and the boss shares a weakness with one of the mini-bosses that randomly spawn partway through the stage after you've beaten 2 Mavericks. So you don't want Bit to show up in this stage in particular, just because it's kind of annoying on the ammo supply.
yeah,
You
some,
really don't want to actually fight Seahorse the normal way.
some runners opt to do Tiger second just to get the RNG out of the way early, but in a marathon run, there's no reason.
Yeah.
Just better, so you can't get hit here.
And Louis finishing up the stage nicely, coming in for the Seahorse quick kill. If you knock Seahorse out of the air, then his invincibility time will kind of expire before his actual recoil expires. So there's just like a window of time where you can just keep hammering away at him. And it looks like both players get the quick kill nicely. Solid 2 cycles.
Yeah, you gotta be really careful when you're going for that quick kill, because you can, like, if your mashing extends beyond the period that you can freely DPS him, you'll induce full iframes and waste. You gotta mash really fast for a very specific period of time, twice in a row to get that quick kill. They both.
Yeah, and if you
Most
start too
runners
early,
just-
you'll just run out of ammo.
Yeah, most runners just opt to 3 cycle in, so they don't have to. So it looks like we're getting a little bit of a route difference here. Nothing really changes as far as strats go, other than Louise is going to have drill for Tiger stage now. Just a few frames getting through some enemies to remove the enemy's hitbox some amount of time so you can pass through them instead of having to jump over. Other than that, there's no real.
And on Louise's screen, here's Bit, the first of the 2 mini bosses that randomly show up in the next couple stages.
Apparently Motto does normally do Rhino here, but accidentally picked the wrong stage. But
Yeah, I figured when I saw him pop up with an oops in chat.
yeah, it's only a different sort of hand.
Yo, Louise with the 2-bonk mini boss.
Another really hard quick kill to pull off. You gotta be able to mash really fast to only get the... Rhino is one of the harder stages in the run, if not the... Everything deals a million damage. Jumping over those purple tank dudes.
Yeah, there's
And-
really no room for error.
Yeah.
Louis showing that off by taking 1 hit and now he's almost dead.
Motto on the right. Pretty large number of neon slashes. Each one of those wastes a couple seconds.
Louis getting a pretty typical Rhino pattern. Alright, now Louis going into Tiger, so their routes will converge again after this stage.
Oh yeah, so this is the 80% cap. X1 any percent is essentially low percent. X2 it's almost 100% minus the 0 parts. In this game it's somewhere. You only get the for the air dash that you get, both the horizontal and vertical air dashes, and you having those two things together lets you do neon, which takes a lot of sign in the second Doppler stage when you're doing the elevators. Looks like Madu got a 3-bonk there. It's actually not that much slower than the 2 bonks. The boss is kind enough to drive over to the right side of the screen. And you're shooting the buster shots.
And Madu making it to Rhino with a pretty comfortable amount of health.
A lot of the bosses in this game have iframe reset mechanics that can be used, like the one that we saw in Seahorse and Tiger as well. Whenever he starts, his iframes reset. Ideally, you want him to just stay on the ground and shoot the shots that he shoots out of his tail. Resets.
I think
Also
Louise got
blocks
a
your
pretty
shot.
comparable amount of the charge slashes compared to Madu's. It's like 3 in a row or something. Sophomore, I probably looking more closely than I was.
Yeah, I think Louise has already fought Pit, but Madu hasn't, so Madu's going to be fighting Pit, I think. And then after that fight, we'll be able to see once again who's ahead and who's behind.
climbing the left side of that elevator is really challenging because those enemies are pretty much in your face.
Yeah, there's a lot of Luis got that where the light being hitbox from the enemy appears near the elevator. If you get that, you can damage boost off of it in order to climb it.
Yeah, I think he got the weird one that kind of manifests in such a way that it's just like a phantom thing floating above it, but you can get it in such a way that the elevator itself just damages you, and then you can do somewhat of an elevator skip using that. I'm not sure if it's actually any faster because it involves getting hit a couple times. You're still waiting a while to do it.
It looks like Mario is just a few seconds ahead of Luis at this point, I think. I don't know if my streams are synced up.
It's definitely slower. I don't remember the specifics of how it works. I've seen it done like one time. I never looked into it myself. It is such a goofy glitch. The Volt Catfish fight is really wacky. You want to try to like avoid him getting to the center by trying to get him to kind of hop in place in a corner for a while, but that's really RNG dependent. So you'll often end up having to hit him with a whole bunch of drills at the end of the fight.
I think it's manipulable if you use the wall, but you have to take damage boosts while you're doing it.
Yeah.
So looks like we're moving on to Scissor Shrimper. Here's we'll enter Vile Secret Stage. There are 3 different stages that you can access it from. This one's significantly fast, just because it's the shortest detour.
Yeah, it's really close to the checkpoint, so you're not put back like any distance at all. Like Madu getting a bit of bad luck with the rocks while Luis gets through smoothly. And this detour is necessary to actually get the saber for the end of the game. They're gonna start with the Buster and then move to Ray Splasher after a handful of hits, so that way they have exactly enough ammo to actually kill Vile. Because if you beat him without using his weakness to kill him, then you cannot get the saber at the end of the game. And nicely done by both of them. It's like Louise took the lead by a bit. Just from getting hit by that, from Madu getting hit by that rock in the initial climb. And here's the timed escape section with the really lenient timer.
Triad Thunder's a really nice weapon for dealing with the RNG rocks. You can't really predict come down. We just kind of gotta go for it.
Scissor Shrimper. This guy has another quick kill. It's a little different from the Seahorse one. I don't know exactly why it works, but seems to be that after you've hit him with Triad Thunder, he'll just not have invincibility frames for a few seconds.
Easy 2-cycle for Louise. Looks like Maru's having some trouble. Still gets it in the end though.
Easy. Just showing off what happens when you get grabbed. And here's the other Maverick in the game with the best name, Gravity Beat Boot.
Isn't Gravity Beat with Calander's cousin or something?
Probably.
So here in 90%, the runners get to show off how overpowered Spin Blade is. It just one shots pretty much any. You don't really get to see that in other categories like 100% that do crawfish. So Louise gets fight here. This is a little bit of a tricky fight to do optimally in any. The drills kind of move boss, and you want to make it so that the final drill despawns just before the last hit. You can't kill him with the weakness. You can, but you don't want to because it causes a 15 or so second. And if you mess anything up, then you're gonna have to menu off your drill at the very end of the fight so you can finish with bust with the strat Louise did there. Times everything out so the last drill expires perfectly for him to do the final buster shot.
And really since there's only one Maverick left after this, Maru will just have Bite come up in Hornet. So they'll be lined up again pretty soon.
You really want to make sure you don't kill both Bit and Bite, because then you fight Press Disposer and Doppler 1, and nobody wants to fight Press Disposer. He is the worst boss in like any Mega Man X.
Unless you're doing X3 best ending max percent Press Disposer.
Oh yeah. The only category that you fight Press Disposer in is the one that actually had in the title category definition.
Yeah. That's how you get people to fight him, is to make it mandatory.
Yeah, he pretty much is like Spore Spawn.
Maru getting past the elevator without actually using it very much.
Ended up doing some iceless type jump. Get past the elevator quickly with the dash boost you can do. It makes it pretty free, but it is a little bit slower than doing the iceless like you saw Luis do just there in the same place. You can kind of set them up the way Luis did by doing double kicks, and that kind of just gives you the perfect. Luis gets both of them. Not very easy, 100% consistently, but they are a lot easier than like the actual ice bootless jump. A bit more lenient.
Yeah, but like the
Wall
difficult
doesn't
part of those jumps in the elevator is just like hitting the right spot to start the kick. It's not like really frame lenient when you actually get out over the edge.
Yeah. You notice Luis killing everything up there on top of those hangers with lemons instead of like big, mainly to reduce lag. You can actually get a lot of lag from killing enemies with the big charge shots in various places, and so sometimes you'll see the runners opt to do more work and mashing and in order to get smaller shots for less lag. Luis squeezing in between the conveyor belt and that end. Pretty difficult strat to do that only saves a little bit of time. Normally you would just shoot it downward as it's so the Hornet fight. It's a bit of a weird fight because he takes 2 damage from Spin Blade, which isn't even his weakness. His weakness is the gravity well, or which induces way too long of iframes for it to actually be useful, sans like using it, the charge version of it once or twice in the 100%. But Spin Blade just wrecks him harder. It's a much more difficult fight when using Spin Blade, because if you don't hit both of them, if you don't hit them, then you have one like awkwardly boomeranging and taking forever to fly off the screen, which prevents you from doing your next.
And Luis has a little bit of a lead going into the Doppler stages. Yo, showing off this sick little glitch where you fire the acid up through the ladder, and then when you pick up the ammo, you just kind of teleport up a little bit. Oh, nice kill on the little mini boss. You want to be as far to the right as possible when you kill this guy, because no matter where you stop, at the end of the fight, you walk into position.
Yeah, you kind of gotta find a middle ground between killing him quickly and positioning yourself correctly. If you kill him like so fast, you won't be able to get far enough right, but if you kill him too slow, then you'll just be waiting it. So you gotta find the delicate. So Luis is now fighting Ultima weapon combination of both. A significantly easier boss choice disposer. He does kill you if he grabs you and your health. He does 16 full damage to you, so you can't basically just gotta dash into his blade beams or jump over his hand when he throws it.
And thankfully, when he tries to grab you, on the way back, the hands don't have a hitbox at all, so you can just go right through them. It's like the one time this game is nice to you instead of just being like, nah, that does 8 damage.
Moving on to Doppler 2 for the two runners. Home of the infamous Doppler 2 elevator skip. Here's where we'll get to see the reason, pretty much why the runners picked up the dash boots. Just this elevator skip coming up. There's a bunch of elevators that go along the spike wall that take you up very, very slowly. It is technically possible to skip the elevator without the dash boots in the Saber, but pretty much cast only levels. A neat little nuance there. You see them call 0 when they're underwater. That actually resets their velocity, which allows them to clear that whole gap without getting the water, which would be otherwise impossible. Ooh. Looks like Mato got a little bit better of a Mosquito's pattern than Luis. Both of them were fairly decent though. Mosquito's the descent after you kill him has a lot of RNG. It can cause him to waste a lot of time.
Yeah, Mosquitoes has to be pretty much exactly positioned on 0 in order to actually explode and die. So it's not uncommon to see Mosquitoes just kind of wiggle around in place. Ooh, and Luis struggling a little bit with the elevator skip. There we go. Second try easy. And now that they have the Saber, they can two-shot every boss in the game. And this gigantic dude is no exception.
Alright, we did get a $50 donation from Nathixa, saying, glad I got home in time to donate to the X3 run. Mato and Luis, good luck. Thank you very much.
And here's the refights stage of the game, where you get to fight everybody you already beat up, but now you can kill them in 2 hits, so it's really not as big of a chore as it could be. Although there is a lot of explosions to go through. Looks like Luis going for Catfish second, while Madu's opting to get one of the quick kills out of the way.
Yeah, the nice thing about the Saber is that it actually just deals every frame, which obviously you notice because bosses have immunity. But the instances of like the crawfish and seahorse where you have iframe glitches that take away their iframes completely, one-shots them, deals 2 instances of 16 damage. Other than the refights are pretty straightforward. Tiger fight gets a little bit trickier than the first fight, since Tiger does in fact block charge shots, which the Saber is considered, so you can run into some problems on that fight if you're not only attacking him while he is doing other attacks and can't pair. Which can also be difficult, because if you shoot trying to Saber him, it'll just interrupt your Saber, and then you'll have to Also, dumping the preliminary charge shot that you need to do to use the saber tiger to parry as well.
There's also another dumb little glitch that the runners have to be wary of happening, where if you either kill a boss or like weapon cancel the saber animation right as you're hitting the ground, the next saber that comes out won't actually come out. X will just swing the handle. Oh, and Louise having to actually fight this guy. He demonstrated the invisible saber. It's like the most frustrating glitch.
How does that one work exactly? I think you have to like land on the frame that you use the saber or something.
It's like landing when you either kill a boss or like weapon cancel out of the animation as you're hitting the ground. Like either of those two will work.
It's a really neat glitch when you want to have it on purpose, because it lets you like an instant neon jump that can be immediately swapped off of, since the saber isn't extending out, preventing you from. But it's also been when it can happen accidentally and prevent you from being able to hit a boss.
Yeah, it's hard to actually make use of. It just serves to ruin your RTA.
I think is Madu in the lead right.
Yeah. He's just finished up Doppler and Louise is just starting the fight now.
I can't see Louise's stream at all anymore.
Oh dang. The Doppler fight is actually a little scary if you do it a really quick way that involves taking a damage boost. Just because he does so much damage that, you know, if you accidentally dump your shot off screen early, so it's not actually a full charge shot, you could just die in the corner.
Yeah, he also has a regeneration shield that. Oh, this saber gap jump. A real neat one. Best trick in the game.
Oh, and Madu takes a death on the first form of Sigma here. That fight is deceptively hard to do right. It, you know, looks like all you have to do is just swing your saber at him a couple times, but his shield has an enormous hitbox, and if your saber hits the shield and his head, doesn't matter. It still gets blocked. So you have to hit him only in the head.
Yeah, it's a really finicky fight.
It's just such a tiny target. Meanwhile, if you have the health, the second fight is actually really easy, because you just plan on taking a hit and jump and whack him with the saber, because he has no such shield.
Yeah, the
Alright,
race
Badu
isn't over
finishes
until
Sigma.
they finish the climb.
Yeah. Time's coming up for Louise. And time. It's really a really close race, actually. Just like a few. It's hard to call them small because they cost a lot of time, but a few.